I love
Give me more than 8 seconds. Story on 8 seconds out. Yeah, man. Whole new experience. It really has. I'm ready for the sequel tonight. But yeah, don't want to rush through town.
No, so no. Oh, what the life. So he told me to say that he was going. Thank you. Thank you. But he made sure
Go ahead.
We're about to great day to be back out here with a lot of frustrations. Start of our 8-week summer kicked off today. We don't have everybody yet. Matt is still not here. He'll be in mid-July, early July. Guy finishing up his responsibilities at Baylor. Ty is coming off gold medal with USA under-18s. Got back early this week. He's taking a few days back home. He'll be in this weekend to start with us then. Just a little break and run down. RJ's not here right now. He's back home at a family wedding. So, but for the most part, it's really good to see everybody. I feel like we had a great spring. We went back to pre-COVID kind of workouts. Got back after it pretty good. And then we had a good group here in May. Luke and RJ stayed. They never went home. And then it worked out for us that 3 of the 4 freshmen were able to finish up their responsibilities and get into it here in May. So Jane, Sky, and Sincere have both been here all through May. So they've got a little bit of a jump start on that as well. But obviously excited about adding Matt, a guy that I've known since high school. Saw saw his team play in high school a great deal. He's coming off a terrific career and run at Baylor. That's part of the lure. He's been extremely well coached. He's a young man that's been where we want to go. And that experience, he's tremendously talented. His versatility excites me. He can literally play 1 through 5. Elite. Can guard any of those positions, and then he's very gifted offensively. And he's got a bravado. He's got a swag about him. He's been a big shot maker his whole career. And I'm excited. I think our style of play, getting back to playing a little more up tempo, really suits them. And so I'm excited to have him in the fold and get him in a few weeks. So we're moving in a good direction. I feel great. We're close to having a final schedule out, which we know will be very, very competitive. And just excited for this group. They've got a fresh energy and willingness to work, and it's been fun to be a part of.
Does your summer approach change as the years pass from the new team and new play style?
Yeah. A lot more teaching. Going to happen this summer. It'll be a little bit of a slower pace because of the teaching. We know that we've got young guys that are going to help us, and we need to make sure that they're up to speed. And the one thing about this freshman group is they work, and so I know that's not going to be an issue. They've been exceptional in the weight room. Sky won't participate right away in live 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 5-on-5 stuff. He's still recovering and getting really close. He's gaining strength in that leg every day. So he'll be a little bit behind in terms of the biggest thing for him is getting healthy. So, but a lot of teaching and attention to detail is really important for them to understand that. We'll spend a good amount of time here early on the defensive end.
What was your prep like as a staff leading into some workouts, knowing that things were going to be
Yeah, a lot of that started with Fletch, and that was, I think, one of the big keys with RJ and Luke's stuff is making sure that we know those guys are really good players. They're ready to make that jump, and they needed to do that physically and just in terms of getting stronger. So it's a big adjustment there, and then their leadership with the freshman team. So, we know we've got to slow down a little bit. We don't have that working team with fifth-year guys and veterans that we had last year. So we've got to make sure we're really dialed in and attention to detail. And that's what the focus was.
Does that excite you a little bit, knowing that you've got a whole new roster?
Yeah, I'm fired up. It gives you a new buzz. I know it'll be time to hang it up when I'm not excited. I was in Chicago last night, and I couldn't wait to plan practice and plan shoot around, and been working all spring, and the changes we have to make. But I'm visual. I need to see it, and so it's exciting to get out here and guys are live and what that looks like. So yeah, there's a tremendous sense of excitement in this group. They're very dedicated. They've been very, very committed to everything they've done so far.
You contrast that to like the difference of feeling now than you have been in the past.
Yeah, you play off their energy. You play off their excitement. Veterans have a tendency sometimes to be a little complacent, because they know everything, and things aren't boring for this group. It's all new. It's all fresh. Trent Frazier knew our playbook and knew everything that I was going to say before I said it. And, not that's a really good thing. But, this group brings a certain energy, and that's been fun to be around.
What went into the evaluation process internally to know what you wanted going forward with what your roster has, what your style of play is going to be?
It's been talked about for a long time. Since his staff got here, we knew Kofi would not be back. We felt very strongly. He was right where he was, first team All-American, and he would move on. So now it's okay. How do you replace Kofi? Well, you don't. There's not 7'3" guys with his athleticism running around. And I think versatility was a key word with size. And so we look to try to go get those guys in that, 6'3", 6'4" to 6'10" range who can do multiple things. I think we have the ability to play 5 forwards. I think we have the ability to do a lot of different things. We're very skilled in terms of ball handling and driving it, and shooting it, and I like that. So it'll allow us to do different things defensively. I think our pace of play can be exceptional. So we'll see how it all looks and comes together as we move forward. But that was the plan, and we needed guys in the fall with this high school group that could be guys on the dribble, and that was not one of our strengths last year. And we've got a group of guys in Sincere, Jaden, Sky, Kai, who can all beat people off the bounce, who can all get into the paint. Sincere's as athletic as good as we've had. The other 3 guys are really strong, have great bodies, great quickness. So mission accomplished. Our staff did an incredible job of finding those guys, securing them, and then we add the transfers, the guys with size to go along with what we started 2 years ago with RJ and Luke, and we all know Coleman's versatility. So that's kind of been the plan for the last couple of years, is to become bigger and more versatile at all spots.
Matthew gives you what he gave Baylor last year. Are you good with that, or do you think there's a ceiling level you still haven't gotten to?
No, I think there's a ceiling. I think there's, you're talking about one of the elite programs, obviously in the country, that in national championship, and they've had pros, they've had lottery picks. And I think our style of play favors him. I think that from a confidence standpoint, he can grow. He has a lot to begin with. He's got great swag. He's not afraid of anything. He's very talented. And I think we're going to put him in a situation where he's got an opportunity to be a great player. And so I'm excited about that. I think he can really grow. I think he's an elite defender. He's not since high school. And now getting out and running, playing tempo, and using his versatility, we utilize all of that.
You've been knowing him since high school, and what's his evolution been in the last 4 years of Baylor? Having a chance to play against him a couple years ago to looking at him now with his offseason to add.
Well, I think I think one, it starts with winning. This team's won in high school. One of great teams. He's been around with great talent his whole life. He's been very well coached at the high school level and at Baylor. And I think it's just continuing to evolve from the side of improving the shooting, becoming that guy that is a very consistent 40% or better 3-point shooter. I think that we got the opportunity to get in those looks, and I think him being a focal point potentially for will help him grow.
Yeah, there's so much talk about the transfer portal. You kind of go out evaluating high school kids this summer. I mean, high school recruiting is still a major part of Illinois' future and success.
Yes, there's no doubt. I think the one thing that we'll be forced to be extremely selective. I don't want to miss on guys. I don't want guys that don't want to be here and grow. I think that I keep using the word development. I think we're the elite development program. I believe from Fletch to what we do on the court with our coaches, our guys get better, and so that's very important to me to see guys grow in that area, and making sure guys understand that. If they're talented enough to become one and done, I get it. But there's also tremendous value in age and experience, and I think you've got to have that right balance. I like this team. It's one of the reasons TJ and Matt, we went out and got with these 4 freshmen who I think are really talented.
Today's a pretty big day on the recruiting calendar. How did you and your staff approach that? Were you men on the bones at midnight?
Absolutely. As I was sitting in a car coming back from an event in Chicago, we reached out to some really quality young players, and So yeah, that's what you can kind of count on June 15th at midnight. That most coaches are going to be reaching out to their top priorities.
You know, you've had a different spot going into the season, but how much has transfer portal and the way college basketball is going to maybe reinforce that?
Oh, it's huge. I think it's very challenging to keep 13 happy. I'm not sure you can keep 12 happy. I'm not sure. I think that it has to be the right mix, the right fit. I'm not. I think we're going to see more and more players available next semester. We've got a steal in Dane next semester. A guy that got to practice with us and grow, and a guy that's lost 30 plus pounds since he's been here. So there's an advantage to that. And having an open scholarship or two is not a bad thing.
NIL is a big part of the decision-making process now for guys, and it seems like you guys have been really competitive in that arena. How have you evaluated what that's brought to your program, or what you have in that sense?
Yes and no. I think that every young player's situation is different. I think we're looking at guys that for a variety of reasons, not to downplay NIL, it's a factor in what we do. It is very important. I think it'll continue to be very important. But I think everybody's got a little bit of a skewed look at thinking all these kids are just out here to make money and see how much they can get, and that's not the case. I think and TJ and Matt and those guys are very committed to what we're trying to do for their development, and that was important to those guys. And having a relationship, and Matt had one with TA. I've known Matt a while, so I think all those things factor in. I don't think it's just dollars and cents like everybody wants to make it, but it is a part of it, and we have to be at the top of our game as we move forward in the future to be able to compete in that arena.
With Matt coming from TJ, did the same deal at Texas Tech. How much can that piece help a younger team you've got around that?
Well, it's always been a major part. Maybe Alfonso last year was a little bit of the off-center piece that had not come from any program. It dove pretty deep into the character and his work ethic. But look at all four of those freshmen and the success that they had. One of the things you can usually count on in our recruiting is the winners. And they've come from winning programs, and we're not going to take guys that aren't for the most part. But, TJ's been to an Elite Eight. Obviously, Matt's a national champion. Baylor's been hardly out of the top 5 in his time there. And so winning becomes very contagious, and there's lessons to be learned from that. And, they can pass that on to us, coaches, to, hear their stories too. Obviously the young players. And so that's a big part of the reason we won it. And it's something that I hope helps us continue to grow and get where we want to
With the roster turnover, does leader development become a bigger part of the picture? And who are some of the kids you expect to step up?
Yeah, too early yet. I know Luke's going to be in that mix. I think Luke's he's got natural leadership instincts. TJ's been very, very good in that area to this point. Obviously, it's something I don't force. I kind of try to let it happen organically and grow. But I think we've got high character guys, and we'll see how that evolves with Coleman, RJ, all being a part of it. But I think that I feel great about Luke. At this point, his he was that way as a freshman, so now it's enhanced as he becomes a veteran.
You have 3 guards like that who came in together in May and spent a lot of time with each other. How important is that just to have them kind of growing on a similar timeline?
Yeah, they've all become very close. And Ty wasn't here, he was going to school, and then jumped right into the U18s. But he even came in a couple of days and worked out before the U18s. And but they've got their group chats. They started really early with that. on the signings and commitments, and when a group that connects like that and they work out together, that's what this is all about. That's what team building is all about, is building those relationships, and that those freshmen have done it from day one.
So newcomers, does it change how you schedule this year? I know you want to play tough, but are you willing to take some lumps or adjustments early with a tough schedule?
I don't ever want to take lumps, but
The meshing, I guess I should say.
but I think that we've got really talented guys, and to get where we want to go in February, March, and down the road, and be prepared for Big Ten play, and we're here to win Big Ten championships. Let's go play people, and I think our program is at a place where we're never rebuilding. Anybody uses that word, I'm not going to talk about it. We're not rebuilding, we're reloading. I think we're in that place. And so we're not going to back down because we lost coach. We didn't back down last year because we lost Iowa. It's next man up and next group up. I think that you get better because you play good people. And obviously the Vegas field is, everybody's going to be ranked. You got 20 Big Ten games, the best league in the country. You got an ACC opponent to be determined, which I think will be an elite opponent. And a game in New York, so they're going to be ranked. So why not? Let's go play. And if somebody beats us, I hope they've had to earn it to beat us. But we're not going to back down because we get a boo-boo early in November, early December.
I don't know you're from brought back people know from Mexico. Just what did you maybe see as a coach on that team where he maybe did what he's always done?
Yeah, he was really, Mike Boynton was an assistant coach. It was my assistant at SFA and State before he got the job. And Mike, I think, gave him the ultimate compliment. He texted me after 2 days of practice, and he said, "I don't know your roster very well, but he'll find a way." Because I absolutely love it. And he texted me out. I congratulated Mike after the gold medal game, and he said, "I had him for 2 weeks. I love him more after 2 weeks than I did after 2 days." And he just impacts winning. And they played him in a variety of spots, and that winning mentality, that experience, that'll be great for him. I know what that did for Io. So I'm really excited to get him in here. It's pretty special to represent your country and win a gold, and he was a part of a really, really good team, and he was one of their better players.
Spencer Harris, long and lanky kid, you can see where's he at from a physical standpoint?
Well, he's athletically as gifted as anybody we've ever had here. And I mean, he's breaking all Fletch's records. I mean, in terms of jumping and quickness and speed. And obviously, he's got to gain some weight. And, that's the process most freshmen go through. And he's wiry, strong, as you use Fletch's term. He's been great. And athletically, he can do things. He's as quick twitch as anybody I've been around. So I'm excited about him and what he brings. He's got great length. He's just got to be a great listener for the freshman. Keep going that way, as well as eating a couple thousand calories more than everybody else every day.
And during the process, what made you confident that this freshman class can maybe take on a bigger load just because of what you guys were losing?
Yeah, physically they're pretty gifted, and you play at the high level if you got physical bodies. Ty Rogers is 6'6", whatever, 220. Sky's 6'3", 190. Jaden's physically really strong. Got a great body, and when you've got physical bodies and athleticism, you can play at this level. And felt great about that. And then Sincere is just one of those unique athletes that you don't come across every day. And so they're pretty gifted that way. And so I felt really good about that. And they've all been very successful. They've all played at the highest levels, and they've played against great competition. And I know they're not going to back down. So yeah, feel really good about that group.
I don't want to assume that you've seen Coleman's YMCA video, but if you have, how would you rate him as an actor?
He better work on his jump shot. He better work on his jump shot. He's yeah, he starts to really personality, but he's definitely not in line to be the next average top 10. That's for sure.
Is the NBA draft next week? What do you see from Kofi during the NBA Combine? How do you see that going into next week for him?
Yeah, I'm excited for him. I'm hopeful. I think he's been very solid in his workouts. I think that he's done what he is needed to do in terms of positioning himself to be drafted. Kofi's not for everybody. The style of play some teams play. They don't want that. They don't want a big but there are some who do. And so we'll see how it goes in a week. And I'm praying for him. I'm excited for him. And obviously the legacy he's left here is second to none. And we'll be putting for him in future endeavors.
What kind of game does Jaden have? What's he bring to his point guard spot?
Yeah, he's an elite scorer. He's as good a one-on-one player as there is. The guy's really quick. He's got great ball skills. He's got great strength to finish. Terrific pull-up jump shot. As he continues to take that next jump, is dealing with the physicality of people fighting over ball screens and him getting bumped. But he's a tough kid. Tough mentality. He's not going to back down from anybody. But he's just a kid who knows how to score. Every time his ball goes up, gets on the rim, it usually falls in. And he's still got to continue to grow as a catch and shoot guy. He didn't have to do that a lot, but a very good score.
You've seen Chester's eyes light up with that young group, and how much he's going to have to show them now, have the young guys versus Trent and Alfonso last week.
Yeah, and Chester's getting up there a little bit now, where these young guys can whip his ass, and when they play one-on-one. So I don't know how Chester's going to take that, but that's fun. That's what we do this for. We enjoy those opportunities to really teach guys who want to be taught and want to grow and want to work, and you see that talent and get your juices flowing as a coach when guys are talented and you can help them get to that next level. And Chester, TA, and Jeff are all great. It's one of the reasons our program is really good is what we do development-wise on the court. This group's bought into all of that so far.
Going back a couple of years, Coach, you made a decision to kind of change defensively, not quite as aggressive. Do you see going back to that old style with this group of kids?
We won't go all the way back. There'll be some changes. Obviously, there were some restrictions with Kofi in terms of what we could do. This team allows us to do some things that maybe we haven't been able to do in the past 3 years. But that being said, we've also been a very, very good defensive team, and the numbers show that. There's certain things that we can do. We can switch. We'll have to, I think, still determine how we're going to guard ball screens and what that looks like. But I think we can do a variety of things. I don't think we can be as maybe as vanilla as we were in the past 3 years. We can do a little more out there, a few more wrinkles. And I think this team has the ability to be an elite defensive team. And TJ Shannon, elite defender. Matt, elite defender. He's veterans. RJ, elite defender. Coleman, elite defender. All those guys were drawing tough assignments last year. Those veterans. And Jaden's a pit bull on the ball. This guy's a big, strong guard with great quickness. So, since we've got length, I'm excited about the possibilities of this team. So we'll see how it all plays out. That's what's fun. That's what I enjoy, is tinkering around and seeing what works best with this group.
You actually get a vacation this year, man?
I did.
Beach somewhere?
Cayman Islands for a week.
There's worse places to be.
There was. There was. And I was really good at 8 a.m. every morning, plopping my ass in a chair and reading a book. 6 p.m. every night, I was really good at watching the sunset and then going to eat nice dinner and then pushing repeat.
Way to be.
Told my guys this year.
So you still got it.
You don't have one guy in the gym. Switch. Thanks, guys.
We came out. Yeah, I was. It was this week or Courtney.